Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Mac, the mad scientist.
It's your boy, Infamous. Trying not to be in here wilding out on WrestleMania weekend like Stone Cold's four-wheeler on his way to the ring. We can find out that we had over 120 some odd people, 1,000 people at WrestleMania, but it was such a dope weekend, man. Easter, Resurrection Day, WrestleMania.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
It's WrestleMania.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Yes. WrestleMania weekend was this past weekend, man, and that's it was over Easter weekend. There was a lot of things going on Easter weekend. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Sigma Crab Crack course that went on in Columbia, South Carolina, headed on by Chat President over here, the infamous and I will say it was always a good time. The wind was blowing, the birds was chirping, the crabs was cracking, and the fish was greasy. Yeah, so yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it all good, man. It's all good. And obviously, WrestleMania weekend was this weekend, and
yes,
and I'm still playing catch up, Al. Not on WrestleMania or the Raw after WrestleMania, because that's what we're talking about today. But we're talking about the other shows during the week, because anytime that there's WrestleMania week, there are a plethora of wrestling shows from other promotions that capitalize on WrestleMania week because they can maximize on the crowd and make like the biggest of profits off of that. So except for AEW was not in Vegas. They did make a business move where moving Collision from Saturday to Thursday. So they actually had spring breakthrough on Wednesday, and which was basically solidifying that AEW is the longest running primetime wrestling show on the Turner Network. So it surpassed Monday Nitro. It surpassed Eric Bischoff, and obviously the AEW faithful let Eric Bischoff have it, you know, calling him trash by Sutra, like, yeah, how do you feel for trashing AEW? And then it outlasted Nitro. You know, I mean, I
don't see a lie here.
You know what I'm saying? But Eric Bischoff did congratulate Tony Khan on his success. So that, which was, you know, different from Eric Bischoff. But yeah, he said, hey man, this longevity, as long as money getting pumped into AEW, guess what? It is what it is. Great Dynamite, absolutely great Dynamite, absolutely great Collision. And we moving on to WrestleMania weekend, Infamous. Now, how did you feel about WrestleMania weekend in totality? Before we I give you my soapbox.
In totality, night one was crazy. I'm gonna call it what it is. Night one was, to me, and I think night one was pretty dope last year. Night one, to me, outshined night two.
You serious? Talking about this year, right? WrestleMania 41.
I really feel like night one outshined night two just by a little bit, because that Punk Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match that told a story a lot better than I was looking for. That told a story a lot better, and then Heyman was like, yo, CM Punk put me in this position right here. He could have just been happy with being a main eventer.
Right.
Roman treated me like crap in the end. And basically he and Seth Rollins were like cut from the same cloth a little bit. And I was like, I see it now. I get, you know, I get what he's saying. The Tiffany Stratton Charlotte match. I'm sorry, that was a good match. Charlotte sold that. It was a good match. Now I will say though, night two, having the women's championship, that triple threat.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they ran that. I was seriously wondering, how the hell are they gonna top this?
Right.
How the hell they gonna top this? And how do they top it? By my homie, my guy, Dirty Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship. So
Dirty Dom.
So I mean, yeah, some folks were unhappy with WrestleMania. To me, WrestleMania gave me some dubs. They gave me at least one dub I didn't see coming, and that was Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I didn't see that coming. So, how was the pay-per-view to me?
Yeah,
it was dope. It was exactly what I wanted, and a little bit more. I only missed one thing. Now, I only wish one thing would have happened. One person would have showed up. I wish The Rock would have showed up. I really wish The Rock would have said nothing against, everything. Everything against Travis Scott, but if The Rock showing up and saying, "Now I have my champion," because this is how this started. Now, this is how it started. My champion, and I will give John Cena his props. Coming out to just your name in black and white, that's cold to me. That's cold. But the weekend, I thought it was dope. I don't care what anybody says. WrestleMania weekend to me was cool. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. So for me, with WrestleMania, this wasn't. You know what? I'm gonna keep it a B. This wasn't the best WrestleMania. To me, the two GOAT WrestleManias is WrestleMania 17 and WrestleMania 19. And I think let's go with the positives first. Let me do with the positives first because the negatives is on the tip of my tongue. But I don't want to like completely crap on WrestleMania. So let me shout out SNK, the gaming company, right? Because Fatal Fury drops on the 24th, right? That is genius marketing on their behalf by having WWE put that logo in the middle of the ring on the mat. So when anytime a body go across it or they do like a wide shot, like a vertical shot, then you see City of the Wolves Fatal Fury. You're like, oh, what is that? And then you looking it up, you YouTube it, and then you see what this is. This is a fighting game, and clearly, WWE is on board with it. So let me go ahead and pre-order this game or whatever the case may be. So genius marketing on SNK's behalf when it comes to that. Now, other positive things, okay? Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship. The manner in which he won is kind of iffy, but him winning that championship, because it was heavy critiques on Jey Uso saying, the bill wasn't good. Yeah, he won Royal Rumble, which is very surprising. And we can't see him beating Gunther, but you see him tap out Gunther within seconds, that kind of thing. So it's good that they put the rocket ship on Jey Uso, despite what people were saying and the critiques that was going on. So the other positive note for this one was Jacob Fatu winning the United States Championship. That was kind of like a given. I didn't see LA Knight beating Jacob Fatu. But honestly and truly, though, to me, and the triple threat match, the main event for Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. A lot of people saying that is the best triple threat match they have ever seen in their life. I wouldn't go that far, but it's definitely top three.
It's definitely
top three. Right now, in my mind, I can't think of a triple threat that is better than that. So I would have to put it in the number one spot until I have to go back in my backlog and all that stuff to like look at past triple threat matches and see does it measure up to that one. But for right now, considering what has happened, Paul Heyman is the centerpiece of this thing because
the whole
thing, because you got people fighting over Paul Heyman's tutelage and fighting him as to be the wise man, because anybody that Paul Heyman is behind, especially WWE, they get gold around their waist. Anytime. Like, that's a ticket. You know what I'm saying? That's your golden ticket. So
I told my wife the same thing. When you're a Paul Heyman guy, you win championships.
Absolutely.
Is it Roman, Brock, Hill, Curtis Axel? This fellow won. He won the Intercontinental title at one point.
Yeah.
We forget Curtis Axel was a Paul Heyman guy, and he won gold.
Yeah.
Fact. Paul Heyman guys win gold of some sort.
Yeah.
And I think Seth knows this.
Yeah. Seth knows this. I mean, historically, what is it? The proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? The proof is in the pudding. You know, the list of people that he has managed have won gold, or at best be on TV every single week, get TV time, and prominent TV time at that, and been in some memorable feuds. So you got to add that stuff in there, right? So for me, those are the major highlights for night one for me. For night two, I said it in like a group, like in a Discord or something like that.
Yeah.
The main event saved night one, but the whole entire card of, well, the majority of the card of night two saved the main event for night two. Because but I will say though, that fatal four-way between that triple threat. I'm sorry, that triple threat between Io, Bianca, and Rhea, that set the whole entire tone for the rest of that night, because they put on a clinic. Like, they put it down. And the fact that Io Sky won and retained, I'm so happy that happened, because she was the afterthought, because you were in front of Rhea and Bianca, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Io is her, okay? If people haven't watched her in Stardom or whatever the case may be, you know what she's capable of now. Like, she's there. Like, she's in the echelon of being great.
She's not just a star. You can hit her with how Stephen A said. She's not just a star. She's a superstar now.
She's a superstar.
Absolutely. She's a superstar now.
Yeah. The Sin City Street fight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. You might as well cut it short, because Drew McIntyre is no longer a heel. You might as well keep his same character, obviously. Mm-hmm. You projected him to be a babyface, by the end of the day. The fatal four-way Intercontinental Championship match right there, that is another positive. Braun Breaker, Penta, Dom, Finn Balor. I'm not shocked that Dom won. Like, I was looking for Dom to actually win. And the fact that Dom won, and he is over with the crowd organically, because he couldn't get a word in boo-wise. He was like the biggest heel in the WWE. And couldn't even get a word in, because the crowd just booed him, because it was the thing to do. So this man left the ring and ran back to the ring and just celebrated with the crowd. Like, so Dom is a babyface. Finn is going to be healed by the end of it. We all know this. We see it coming. But
the way that match ended, when the crowd went crazy after that 1, 2, 3, I'm sitting there like, I was like, yo, this dude he's not Jey Uso over. This is Jey Uso over.
Yeah.
Dom's right there. And the way, and when he left the ring and ran back, if I'd have been Finn Balor, I'd have probably bust out laughing, because Dom looked like a big kid going to celebrate.
Yeah.
And the crowd, they went even more crazy when he came back the second time. So the way I guess Dom's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dom's looking really good. So it's only a matter of time before he's super over.
Yeah. Then obviously the other positive to that, but that's really it for me. That's really all the positive. Now, let's talk about these negatives right here. Let's just talk about this. First of all, number one, you tell me, why did you take Bayley off WrestleMania card and replaced her with Becky Lynch? Why did you do that? And she's not injured. You pull an injury angle so she do not attend WrestleMania. She busted her ass on NXT, SmackDown, Raw, elevated other talent. Like she's up there in the levels of Bianca. She's up there with the levels of Mercedes. She's up there with the levels of Charlotte. Everything else in between. But you pull her to put Becky in to win the tag title that her and Bayley, Laura Valkyria, like worked their way to, only for Becky to turn on Laura the next night to drop those titles 24 hours later. What's the purpose? What is the purpose there? That was dumb. And I feel like they really played Bayley face.
Yeah.
I really feel like they're playing in her face. Like, I did hear that she did resign with the company back in like 2022, 2023-ish. I don't know how long that contract is, though. I don't know if it's 5 years. I don't know if it's 2 years. I don't know if it's 3 years. I know with Rusev it's 2 years, but I don't know how much longer Bayley had, because once people caught wind of Bayley getting screwed over at WrestleMania, people was already chiming in. You need to slide over to AEW. Be with your best friend Mercedes. Mercedes posted like some emojis, like pointing at her and tagging Bayley with the money face emoji, like, you know, you come with the money at stuff like that, right? But Bayley, like, I watched her interview with Chris Van Vliet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she talked about how much she's a team player. Like, she don't ruffle the feathers. She don't kick down no doors. She doesn't do these things. You know, she follows some of the principles that John Cena gave her and stuff like that. And then it's almost like she already knew that she wasn't going to be on the card, because it was a point where she paused and she just kind of like lifted her head up. And then Chris was like, "What? Wait a minute. What you not telling me?" But, you know, he didn't dig too deep. And she kind of like pivoted into another conversation. But that part irked me so bad. Because the things that as an audience jump on Charlotte for, Becky's been doing it like in front of us. Not her fault per se, because, you know, if your boss is calling you and like, go do this, you know what I'm saying? Now it's up to her to say like, I don't want to do that because I'm gonna take somebody's spot. That's up to her to say that. And obviously this may be working to a storyline or some type of feud between Bayley and Becky, saying like Becky the one who attacked Bayley, and Becky was the one that took her away from WrestleMania to build more heat on Becky, because that's part of the creative plan. Maybe. But that was shitty. That was very shitty, because you could have pulled that at WrestleMania. You could have had Becky turn on Lara at WrestleMania. That would have been you know what I'm saying? So
it would have made more sense. And can I make you mad real quick? just to add to what you're saying.
Yeah.
The whole attack backstage can't perform.
Yeah.
Didn't we just see that with Naomi and Jade?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first.
We just saw that. Like it took me, what did it see? Saturday night 1, Sunday night 2, 48 hours later. It took me 2 days and hearing you go off about it, which it's all valid, by the way. Yeah. And hear you go off about it. And it hit me like, we just saw this story a while back with Jade and Naomi. Real quick, Naomi with the new theme music in that match.
It was decent.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed that match. But yeah, we just saw that with Jade. And real quick, everybody, I don't know, but this has got to be the first time 2 black women have faced each other on WrestleMania, a good match, and this has got to be the first time I've seen
Bianca and Sasha. They main event at WrestleMania.
Never mind. This has got to be the first time I've seen both brands have black tag team champions. If we've never seen it before, unless it was New Day and the Prophet at the same time. Yeah. But
I think that happened before in the past. I
hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But you know what? I do. I hope you're wrong, and I want to be right on this one. But
yeah,
but rewind.
But wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, but rewind. I gotta make you mad real quick because we just saw that same storyline with Naomi and Jade, and it was a awesome storyline. We shouldn't get that with Becky and Bayley. One, Bayley deserves better. Secondly, we can't be pissed at Charlotte. And Becky's doing the same thing. Not only did Becky have a title for 24 hours, she's already eyeing the first women's intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but when it comes to title time like that, there's no way Lyra was going to beat Becky. I do not see it.
But that's the thing that always irks me there, because Lyra should not lose to Becky. Like, at no point that should be going down. Now, also, the other thing that caught me, that pissed me off really is, okay, how can I explain this? Randy Orton and Joe Hendry. Now, I have heard that Randy Orton has specifically asked for Joe Hendry, like, to be his opponent. Joe Hendry is super, super duper over. So way over. So for him to pull up and his name popped up and the Italian Allegiant Stadium is like singing this song, that was super dope to see. And I watched that match. You squashed that man, and that's not Randy's fault. That's not Randy's fault. That is creative's fault, because that was great for Joe Hendry, but that was terrible for TNA.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah, it's because this is your world champion, and listen. We grew up on wrestling, right? So if there's a world champion or a champion coming from another promotion to come visit, you're not squashing our champion to make us look bad. You're not doing that.
World champions ain't slouches.
World champions ain't slouches, right? They ain't no fly-by-night type people. So you're literally saying TNA world champion, small time. Now, we might know that on the surface, but me and you can write a better story for this. They could have had at least a 10 to 15 minute match, and Joe get his stuff in, Randy get his stuff in, and Randy gets the dub, right? But check it though. Put the title on the line. Let Randy win that joint after a classic, like a 15-minute classic, right? Then have Joe Hendry come back. I got to get my rematch, right? Mm-hmm. So have Randy at a TNA show, a TNA pay-per-view. Sell that bitch out. Sell that thing out.
Let me add to this right here. Not only should you have Randy on a TNA show,
yeah,
Randy should have showed up a week ago to TNA. Pull up on Joe Hendry. If you wanted him that bad, pull up, have him pull up. Have a WWE soon-to-be legend like Randy Orton come up, meet Joe Hendry in the middle of a TNA ring.
Yeah.
Look here. Hit him with I'll see you at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And there's your TNA championship. And then you don't shit on the TNA title, because guess what? You just put that title on one of wrestling's biggest ever stages.
Right.
And then to be honest, Joe Hendry could win that match.
Yes, have Joe Hendry regain his world championship and do it at a TNA show, right? Like, this man beat Randy Orton in a sold-out arena at a TNA show to regain his world championship. You
could either have Joe Hendry win at WrestleMania, but I do like the idea better of having Joe Hendry lose. And then a month or so down the line at a TNA show, Randy walks in, he defends that title, Hendry wins, and you end up putting so much. TNA missed, and TNA and WWE missed the opportunity to put some shine on not only TNA as a promotion, but that TNA title. When you look at that title, now I've seen these TNA titles. These belts look pretty freaking good,
Yeah.
So you could have put some respect on your promotion, because to be honest, the way TNA is looking, but I don't know if TNA gonna make it to 2027. But
man, I've been trying to tell people. People think I'm tripping.
I don't know if
People
they're
think
gonna
I'm
make. I don't know if they're gonna make it to 27.
I'm gonna tell you what, not who had a better relationship with TNA, and people like AEW did, because when Kenny Omega was a TNA World Champion, Scott D'Amore even said it. This man had the belt collector. He had the AEW World Championship. He had the AAA Championship. He had the TNA World Championship. And I was like, yo, what is he doing? And Scott D'Amore, like, this man was there every show, asking people what you need help with. You can come to me for how you think our match is going, whatever the case may be. This man been wrestling on TNA and dropped the belt to a TNA wrestler, further elevating TNA, right? But it's like, but you got some people that, okay, so Gail Kim is no longer there. Scott D'Amore is no longer there. Like your main people that people love within the roster, pretty much no longer there. Now you got yes men running this shit. And I'm like, oh, well, this relationship is way better with WWE. How? Really? Because you got Jordan Grace. Joe Hendry is your next guy. They definitely going to take Joe Hendry off your hands. So,
Joe Hendry's gone.
Yeah, soon that contract over.
Joe Hendry's gone. Matter of fact, you want to be technical, I can tell you who's going to jump ship. Jordan Grace has already done it, which I'm so happy she did, because I couldn't wait to see her in WWE.
Right.
You look, you can go ahead and count Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
I tell you who else you can count, and I know he going to do it because he had been talking about it thanks to people like Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Moose is out that door.
Moose is out that door.
Moose is not only out that door, Moose ain't gonna be in NXT. He ain't gonna be in NXT long.
No, he won't be. He won't be.
Moose out that door.
You know what, TNA put the fries in the bag. Put the fries in the bag, dog. And I put the fries in the bag. I don't think it went as well as they thought it did. For Joe Hendry, it went swimmingly. But for TNA,
see, for Jordan Grace, let's say, how's the saying go? It's levels to this shit.
It's levels to this shit.
Jordan Grace was here.
Yeah.
Moose about close to the same. Joe Hendry,
he's up there. He's up there.
Joe Hendry was the ceiling. The moment you heard this dude's music, everybody was like, yeah, Joe Hendry's about to come out and show out. Now, it didn't go the way a lot of folks did, but to have Joe Hendry there.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry knows where the finish line is for him. He knows what's going to happen. Again, I don't know about anybody else, and people are more than happy to disagree, but TNA could very well be go under by 2027, and the likes of Joe Hendry gone.
They will be acquired, just like AAA got acquired, which I'm gonna jump on that too. Now, the other thing to me was, like the main event, John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Let me tell you something. Like today is broke because The Rock was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about like Ariel and like calling him up because they had low ticket sales for Elimination Chamber to call him to pull up. So they came up with the Sell Your Soul storyline. Like, bro, let me tell you something. If you was not needed for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was gonna use John Cena as a tool to turn heel, and you didn't bother to pull up to WrestleMania because you're like, you know what? I wasn't needed here. I pulled myself up. You picked this year to pull yourself out of this. Like, you working ass backwards. You should have did the crap last year when you try to take that spot for Cody from winning the Royal Rumble. You should have did that last time, but you didn't do it this time. Like, that was ass backwards to me. Because my thing is, Cena could have done this on his own. It would have left to a way better storyline. Travis Scott was not needed at all. At any point, like for him coming out and all this other stuff. So, and then you got people that spending up to $30,000 for a weekend. Like there was a video I saw before the show started that Randy Orton himself was shocked at them prices. He like, that's fucking ridiculous. He like, how much? He like, they were like $30,000. That's my first WrestleMania, so you know they're spending car car's amount of money
Brand
for
new car
a wrestling show, 2 days, and you thinking to yourself, if Rock is involved with Cena, then Rock gonna show up at the end of this thing somehow, some way. But they give you Travis Scott, and you spend 30 racks.
And the thing is, it started with The Rock. The Rock said, "Be my champion."
Yeah.
Okay. As we knew it, he was going to turn him down because I don't think WWE's not ready for Bullet Club Cody yet. They're not ready for New Japan Cody, who was a heel. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm cool with that. Me personally, I wanted him to accept it, but I hope we get it when he comes back, because I'm pretty sure he's going to take a break and everything.
Yeah.
So John Cena accepts. Bet. He accepted that Royal Rumble. No, not Royal Rumble. He accepted that Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Cool. Rock, we ain't have seen you since then.
Yeah, he said it. He's like, once this was done, now we got something. Now we could build something for 6 weeks without me. So you just came in there to say you sold your soul and you with the Rock now, so I'm gonna dip. But that don't make a damn bit of sense.
Rock, you were too big of, okay, let's look at the players in this.
Yeah.
I got a few players I want to say. John, you got Cody Rhodes, he's a champion. He turned down being the Rock's champion. John Cena accepted being the Rock's champion, went heel, and he's been one of those I'm gonna drop some hard truth on y'all type of heels. Which
is absolutely accurate.
Which the funny part is, he ain't lied once.
Nope.
Here's a player that we ain't talked about.
Okay.
Triple H is a player in this. If you want to go long-term, extremely long-term storytelling here, let's not make it seem like The Rock and Triple H ain't got some kayfabe history.
Yeah. They got some
and then Travis Scott is unfortunately a player in this, which he should never have been one.
Let me tell you something.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
We don't care about Travis Scott.
No, we don't.
Travis Scott, the only thing you've done is put out a couple of Astro World and them Jordans.
Bro, here's the thing. They even misuse Travis Scott, because who is the person he's supposed to do this for? Jey Uso. That song is for Jey Uso. The beat is for Jey Uso. It's been on the internet ad nauseum. Shout out to V Hang 'em High. Shout out to a man out there on Twitter. This, it's right there, and you chose to say, you know what? I'm gonna stick with The Rock because that makes more sense. Like what? My thing. So I know. Before you go, WrestleMania has become way too commercialized, and since this TKO merger, you have seen it. You have seen people that busted their ass get replaced. You've seen people get replaced by celebrities, with celebrity spots and stuff like that. This ain't the WrestleMania of old where you saw entertainment, but you saw wrestling too. It was WrestleMania by the end of it. And there's only a handful of matches that we basically covered to say, you know what, this is it right here. But the main event was like this. The way Cody lost, he lost like a sucker. Like the man,
he deserved better.
The man took 3 years to beat Roman, and when you finally conquered that, you finally finished the story, your title reign should not end in that manner. You shouldn't get hold out like that.
He lost with a kick in the balls to
and a belt to the face.
He lost to a kick in the balls to a John Cena who's somewhat of a shell of himself. Roman Reigns was the biggest of big bads for 3 whole years.
Yeah.
Now people can say, well, the bloodline helped him win. The bloodline helped him finish some matches here and there.
Yeah.
There's some matches he won straight up on his own, like there's guys he beat. Yeah, it may have been with the help of the bloodline. But you go back in that 3-year period and you look at the list, the casualties that this man beat to hold on to that belt for 3 years.
Yeah.
The Fiend, Brock a couple times, Edge, and Daniel Bryan in the same time. Racked them, stacked them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Goldberg is on that list. Seth Rollins is on that list.
Logan Paul.
Randy Orton is on that list. Kevin Owens is on that list. Logan Paul is on that list. I think AJ Styles is on that list. Finn Balor's on that list. I mean, we gotta be for real on who is on the list of who Roman beat. And then Cody beat him. Cody went through hell to beat him.
Yes.
He did it. And then this is how that. Matter of fact, if you want to be technical, even just to get the Ula Fala back, he had to go through Solo Sikoa and the rest of that new bloodline, who I thought was a little bit of a better bloodline. They were more dangerous. Hell, he went and got Tama and Tongaloa. Yeah. Those are two dangerous ass dudes when Tongaloa is 100% healthy.
I would say they was dangerous, but it didn't live up to their full potential.
Oh no. I'd say Tongaloa getting hurt, a big monkey wrench, because I don't think, and they still, to me, they're not using Tama Tonga right. Because if anybody ever goes back and look at some of Tama Tonga's footage in New Japan, he is not to be trifled with.
And then when you look at Jacob Fatu, when Jacob Fatu showed his personality, the minute this man got on the mic, it was a wrap for Solo. It was done.
What he said, I mean.
No, I mean, like the minute this man got on the mic, we knew what he was like on the mic from like past wrestling promotions, right? And Solo was supposed to be that guy because he's been with Roman or whatever. If Jacob Fatu never would have showed up, then yeah, that would have been it. But Jacob Fatu showed up, and then they pivoted to something else. And maybe you will get a program with Solo and Jacob down the line, and that reinvents Solo, because right now the rocket ship is on Jacob. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
So
from coast to coast, from post to post.
Post to post. Now, I will say also, WrestleMania did not have the best PR. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever their PR, they didn't. They had Tony Hinchcliffe, that racist piece of shit that they had this man on commentary a couple weeks ago. Then you had a WWE roast, which was not televised, by the way, but some people got some recordings, some people got some clips, and
I was wondering.
It was kind of you got that. You got Roman Reigns talking about, hey man, I support Orange and whatever the case may be. Like, bro, you ain't had to answer that question. You didn't have to answer that question. Like, there's
a way to answer that question without fully answering it.
Exactly. You know, you got John Cena, like, yeah, I love Vince McMahon, all this stuff. Like, you know full well what this man has done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get what he was saying. Don't say it out loud. Then you got Nick Khan talking about, here's the other part of it. They could not keep AEW out their mouths. It was some kind of mention almost every day about AEW. They're not, without even saying the letters, but you know that what they're talking about. Now, Nick Khan, like, oh yeah, we don't believe in benching people, but what you did to Bailey the next day, you literally like, you come over, we ain't gonna bench you. Matter of fact, what did you do to Omos? Because Omos was at Noah killing it, and you pulled this man from Noah to go to catering to do nothing. So then you got Triple H going off on the stuff that he's talking about. So like the whole PR campaign was just trash. It was like straight up trash. I don't know. There was this like, oh, well, you know, fans just need to be fans, just accept what it is. Like, you punk bitch. We spending $15,000 on some tickets.
To be honest, after this right here, because of course, again, I thought WrestleMania was dope, but the masses, they were disappointed. Yeah. Rightfully so. And so that basically means Backlash has got to be perfect. Also, you gotta look at your other two. You got the two really big pay-per-views left, truly big ones. And everybody, the reason I feel that way is because I've always been an advocate of WWE's biggest four pay-per-views: Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Yeah. Outside of those four, I look at the rest of them because I love wrestling. But those big four right there, not only am I tuning in, I'm tuning in on time because I care. I really care. Those four right there shows you who's ready for big time and who ain't.
Man, at no point on the big four that you mentioned should you ever fumble the bag, especially WrestleMania, because I feel like
you can't fumble on them four right there.
Right. It's in totality, you kind of fumble the bag. You know what I'm saying? Out with some outliers out there that put on a clinic. Shout out to EO Sky and the matches that I mentioned. But I don't know what they was on. I don't know what kind of time they was on when it came down to this PR. Because even though AEW wasn't there, AEW strategically put up advertisements the minute you land and you get in the airport to get your bags. All you saw was AEW LED stuff up. All you saw was like AEW commercials and all the other stuff. Like they spent money on advertisements in Vegas without actually being there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but even with all of that, though, you still hold out hope for like the next night. Now, Raw after WrestleMania cleaned up a lot of mess. They cleaned up a lot of mess.
Raw after WrestleMania was crazy.
Yeah. And go ahead.
To see Rusev, I don't like calling him Rusev. I like Miro.
I like Miro too.
But to see him back and to see him in that shape, and here's a cool part too. Lana, better known as CJ Perry, Legends deal. She got a Legends contract, and I didn't even know that they were back together. They just recently got back together last month.
Yeah, they reconciled, yeah.
But to see that they're back together and you got them both, man, come on.
Yeah, and Rusev, I feel like to keep it a bean though, like Rusev's best work when he was in AEW Miro, like when he first got there, when he was like the TNT champion, and I mean he was going through people.
When he was the Redeemer,
he was a Redeemer. Yeah, he was on it, bro. Now, mind you, he's on a 2-year deal, so I will say though, Tony Khan definitely fumbled the bag with him. He definitely fumbled the bag with him, and I feel like you could have done tons more with Miro. Now with WWE having him, I don't like the theme music. That theme music,
that theme music,
right? And it's like when he went in the corner, he was like Rusev Crush. I'm like, that ain't hitting to me. Game Over hits for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought he was gonna say that, but you know, obviously WWE got to put their own like spin on it, and to keep the Miro name, I feel like that was part of it. Like, I'm gonna keep the Miro name just in case I decide to go back to AEW or do New Japan or something like that, because he'd kill it in New Japan. Like he'll be a world heavyweight champion in New Japan in no time. Like no time. So for Rusev to come back, I really do like that. I'm not too super hype on that spot that he was in, because he's not really in a feud with anyone. Like he's not really. I mean, it showed his power in what he was doing.
Yeah,
but
that's all that was good for.
Right, and I was looking forward for Rusev to get there. So I'm not saying that, but you know, now the highlight though was Seth Rollins. Yeah, that made him. You know, the last part. You know, no. Let's stop to the first part. Randy Orton. Let's talk about Randy Orton. I seen the back camera on Twitter where how he rolled out from under the ring. How smooth he jumped. This man didn't make a sound. This man moved like a straight up predator. Like so. And John Cena, like, you know, they real tight, right? But I feel like they shouldn't have put the camera on John because you saw him smiling after you took the RKO because you say shit. He caught it. So my only gripe to that is Randy should be the man to end his career. Randy should be the man because of that longevity of the feud. He shouldn't be the first person that John Cena's facing, but maybe because he's only got 27 more appearances. Well, not 26 now, but we'll see what happens. But that whole Randy Orton feud, I'm here for that.
Yeah, and see, you and I talked about this about a month or two ago, maybe, and we said if there's anyone that can be John Cena's kryptonite, it's this man, Randy Orton.
It's Randy Orton.
There's nobody outside of maybe Brock Lesnar because of all those suplexes he gave him that one time.
Yeah.
But there was nobody that knows how to beat John Cena than Randy Orton. This goes back to the OVW days. This goes back to ball-headed Randy Orton from 2009. This goes back to definitely hustle, loyalty, and respect John Cena when he was basically what a lot of folks used to call him Super Cena, where he couldn't lose unless he was facing Randy Orton. And the matches they put on back then, those are some classics, some instant classics that they put on. So for him to be facing Randy Orton, I'm with it. You're giving it to me a little early. I think because we in April?
Yeah, we're in April.
Unless you were going to have them, because you can't make them run at. You can't make them run at no. Don't do it at nothing like Crown Jewel. You can't do it there. It's gotta be a really big pay-per-view for these two, for John Cena to either ride off into the sunset as champ or for Randy to end him. Because based on what John Cena's saying, he wants to ruin wrestling. And to be honest, I feel like that's what he's going to go with. The My Champion thing, I think that's in the rear view now. I think John Cena is going to be on his I'm here to ruin wrestling, because the way he's making it sound, he's taking that championship. No one will ever be that champion. No, there will never be, that belt will go to no one else. John's like, this is me now. Skip anybody, not even skip anybody else before me, because he named champs that have held that title last night. But I just
he named everybody except The Rock.
Yeah.
He did that. I did pick up on that. I'm like, you didn't say him.
Because you could have named The Rock, because The Rock held that specific belt. Well, matter of fact, wasn't that design introduced with him? Not with the gold background, the one before where it had the gold
black.
And the black.
Yeah, I think so. And matter of fact, John beat him.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania. He beat him at WrestleMania. So
yes, I mean, it's just, I like that Randy Orton is here now. Is circling back. It's circling back to John's greatest focus. Batista couldn't beat him like that. Triple H couldn't beat him like that. And I mean, to be honest, remember where I said there were players involved? The Rock is one, and he should have had his ass there. But I also think too, I feel like they're missing something right here. And what it is, it could be Triple H. It could be Triple H versus The Rock on an exec level.
Yeah,
and they now have their champions or possible champions. Rock has John Cena. Triple H has his former mentee in Randy Orton, because you know they're close. So I mean,
I think okay, because of Kevin Owens being hurt, I think that puts the storyline faster than it should. So I feel like if Kevin Owens wasn't hurt, Randy would still be in the program with Kevin. Go for at least maybe one other match. And John will be against someone else. Like, you know, John will be against another top baby face, like maybe a Sami Zayn or something like that. I think Kevin is the centerpiece in all this, and him not being there caused a lot of shifting, a lot of movement around, which pushed Randy to the forefront. And they're like, oh, we need something quick. Cody's not here to respond right away. And maybe Cody is the one to dethrone him later on, you know, down the line. Maybe John's going to hold it for 26 more dates or whatever the case may be. Who knows? But I noticed a lot of seeds been planted, like going forward, like, you know, with Finn Balor, you know, Finn Balor obviously going to turn, but the biggest thing though, the biggest thing is what I was saying earlier: Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. You know what I'm saying? Like this right here, boy. Boy. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, you got Seth Rollins and Braun Steiner. Please change that man name. Please change that man name to Braun Steiner. If you were with a Paul Heyman guy, listen, you got two. I feel like it's gonna be two more people, and it's gonna be four. And when that four get together,
teach a man how to squabble.
Hey, it's gonna be destruction around
here. Do you want to know who I saw could possibly join that squad?
Who's that?
Becky Lynch.
Yes, absolutely yes. Because even though I hate the fact that she replaced Bayley, and maybe that's the angle that they're going with, and they might say, and WWE might say, "Hey, we got you. We had you in your feelings because you know we screwed over Bayley, but now you know what you was doing anyway. Like you still fucked over Bayley. Like we still not gonna forget that the storyline or otherwise. Like you know what you're doing. Like treating Bayley like a second class citizen. We don't like it, but Becky, yes, Becky there, especially the way she turned on Lyra, and maybe Carmelo Hayes.
Ooh,
maybe we need a new person, new blood.
You know what this could be? This could mess around and be just like Evolution.
I go even better than that. I go even better than that. The Dangerous Alliance.
Ooh.
This is the new Dangerous Alliance. He's forming. Think about it now. Because the Dangerous Alliance had what? With Rick Rude. And my all-time favorite match, especially with Sting involved, is Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance War Games. That was it. But Paul E. Dangerously was the manager for Dangerous Alliance. And them boys was cooking out here. Them boys was cooking. They were violent.
Yes, they were.
They were not to be played with. So, matter of fact, you know, just for the listeners out there, man, you know, y'all ain't, you know, I know some of y'all know who the Dangerous Alliance is. Let me see if I can find a good old picture, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there we go. We got a good picture here. Look at that right there, man. Look at that right there, man. Them boys out here was doing work. You know what I'm saying? With the cell phone, they was doing work out here. Look at
that. Stunning Steve Austin, Arn Anderson. You got old Paul in the middle, Ravishing Rick Rude, Larry Zbyszko. And then there's my boy, beautiful Bobby Eaton. And there was nothing beautiful about this man.
At all. There was
nothing beautiful about this man, but I tell you what, out of all them guys right there,
yeah,
beautiful Bobby was one of the most skilled fellas in this picture right here.
Yeah,
that man, he could wrestle.
That Dangerous Alliance era was top tier. I think that's what he's doing. I think Paul E. Well, now I'm calling him Paul E. Paul Heyman is recreating the Dangerous Alliance, and if he does call this the Dangerous Alliance, that'd be top tier to me, because I feel like the Bloodline storyline is done.
That's done.
Yeah, obviously, the handwriting is right there for Roman and Punk to align themselves. Obviously, they're gonna need more help along the way. And hell, maybe that's a long shot. And I'm talking like a Hail Mary type of throw. I'm throwing out there. Maybe Cody. Maybe Cody mean part of that alliance. But that's a long way out of there. You know what I'm saying? That's a long way. But
talking about join Paul and Seth
and Seth and Brock. Now there's good reasoning behind that is because of the manner that Cody lost WrestleMania and how he took the bitch way out, basically. You know, he got hold out. So if you add more edge to that, then okay, cool. We will see. But I say Dangerous Alliance. I'll take it a step further. I'll go past Evolution.
You know who could possibly benefit?
But we need a new guy, though.
It has to be a new guy?
Got to be a new guy. Because if you think about it now, everybody that was on Evolution became world champion.
Mm-hmm. They can't.
Everybody.
And at the time of Evolution, people got to remember they were some belt collectors too. I mean, you had Triple H had Big Gold, Randy had the Intercontinental. Matter of fact, Flair had the Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
Andy and Batista had the tag team titles. So you basically, and man, they could possibly get somebody that's capable of winning everything that is there. So I can see Carmelo Hayes. Yep. I can see, to be honest, just in the event Seth needs another strong arm. I know he's probably not going to do it, but I can see Karrion Kross being in there.
Yeah.
Because Karrion Kross' mindset now is I just want to put hands on somebody.
And then you got people that got like 20 plus years of wrestling experience, but yet you're going to replace us with celebrities and all that stuff. And all of a sudden they know what they're doing. And because you're looking for a viral moment. Like when he went off on that podcast, yeah, that was a promo, but I felt like that it was like 5-minute promo and the rest of it was real. Like he blurred on lines real easy. But the thing that kind of got me out of it was when Michael Cole talked about it. The minute that he addressed it, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Then, this shouldn't even say anything about it. This should have just let that shit ride and let people talk. That's what he should have done.
Did you see somebody sign last night? The sign said, "Give Karrion a push." Yeah. It's a push Karrion Kross. And the way he's going now, we've only seen him in one match, and that was against recently. One match, and that was against AJ Styles. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that was a damn good match, and he gave AJ all he could handle. So I mean, this man needs a push. I don't care how much you push, but you need to do something because the Authors of Pain, they're gone. Mm-hmm. One of them can't stay healthy to save his life anyway. But you can easily put him in a stable with Seth Rollins, and you put him in a stable with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm. Kross doesn't even need to say much. He just needs to go out there, do his thing, and let the titles come on in there. Because when you think about Karrion Kross and what he did, the way he ran through NXT, look, shaved head Karrion Kross was an absolute kaiju down there. He was an absolute terror down there in NXT. So it's just a matter. We don't know who else is going to get. I do want to see Becky Lynch in this group right here.
It only makes sense.
But there's got to be more. You got to have stables of just two guys and their manager. Don't work out. That's a tag team.
It's a tag team.
Give him two more, and the success of this group could possibly rival the Bloodline formation-wise, if you do it now. Title-wise, I mean, the Usos were undisputed tag team champions at one point.
Yeah.
And then you had Roman had both. Yeah, Roman had both belts. I mean, only thing that they pissed me off was about they didn't let Solo go for that U.S. title. They didn't let. Matter of fact,
I mean,
Sammy
but you know, the U.S. title's on SmackDown, so you know, well, no, they are on SmackDown. What am I saying?
and
Yeah, they're on
remember,
SmackDown. So never mind.
Didn't Solo drop that NXT North American title when he came up to the main roster and joined the Bloodline? So I mean, I think this group that Seth is forming, because when he put his arm around around Braun, and the crowd was like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere. But I mean, the rocket shit was already on Braun anyway. This man's a 2-time Intercontinental Champion automatically. So it have to be another new person, like outside of that. Like Becky, she's the, you know, that one female character that's there. It got to be another young talent, and my money is on Carmelo Hayes. That my money is on him. I can't think of no one. Well. Austin Theory could be another one too.
Ooh,
Austin Theory could be another one too. But those are the top two people. Yeah, those are the top two people. Like you need somebody young, just like Braun, to complement 2 veterans, 2 young talent, and then you got Paul.
Yep.
And that's all. That's all you need. Now, if you want a 5th, sure, maybe a 5th. But outside of that, you got yourself a dangerous alliance right there. I mean, when you were to think about it, though, you know, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually, it was 5 people in a dangerous alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talking like WCW 91, 92 ish, that era. So okay, you got Braun, you got Seth, add Becky, add Carmelo. So that's 4, right? So, I mean, who else would be a young talent that I'm trying to think about that?
He's not really.
I can't think about it. I can't think of anybody else right off the top of my head.
He's not young. He's not young, but he could use a mouthpiece.
Who would that be?
I'm not opposed to Andrade.
Huh.
I'm not opposed to Andrade. He's not young, but he can get it done in the ring.
That's actually a perfect fit, because that man has not been used. You had a whole Europe tour. This man had photo ops and had one dang match. Like, come on, man. After the clinic you did with Carmelo Hayes. Now, how would you make sense if you got Carmelo Hayes in there? And I'm saying he's guaranteed to be in there, but Andrade is not a bad fit.
Here's how you make it work. You got Paul Heyman. It works with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman can tell me that this pen said, look, I would say this pen says Food Lion, which it does. Paul Heyman can say it says CVS. Dang it, I'm gonna believe that shit because it's Paul Heyman.
Heyman.
Yeah, it's Paul Heyman. I mean, anybody else that could possibly fit up in there, and right now I'm just looking at the SmackDown roster. It's not a lot outside. To be honest, the best fit in there outside of Braun Breaker, of course, Seth, but outside of Braun Breaker is Carmelo Hayes. Definitely, because he's young, and you let him become a Paul Heyman guy that young. That's success for him.
I mean, yeah, because he's definitely I wouldn't say underutilized, but after Andrade, he hasn't really been. I haven't seen him on TV like that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really he hadn't been involved in anything, and especially the things he was doing in NXT, right? Like if you just was not going to use him in the main roster, you could have left him on NXT until you was ready for him legitimately, and keep on booking, right? But right now it seems like Seth, Braun, Becky, Carmella will be your top 4. Honestly, Austin got a fight, got an argument with that. Andrade got an argument with that. Long shot, Cody got an argument with that. But we'll see what happens, man. But I smell Dangerous Alliance. That one I'm smelling. I don't smell Evolution, but I'm definitely smelling Dangerous Alliance. And if that's what it is, I'm all in, man, because I actually did watch Wrestle War. I fell asleep on it. I was last night because that's one of my favorite matches. But I mean, not bad for the weekend. Obviously, there's been a lot of hiccups, when it comes to WWE and their publicity or whatever the case may be. Raw did a good job in cleaning a lot of things up.
Yeah, they did.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, Bayley, you keep treating Bayley like shit, she out of here. Now, and I think, but honestly and truly, if you look at the young women talent that they've been cultivating in NXT and has been shining on the main roster, the older heads, like the original 4 horsewomen, they're fighting for them spots because these women are literally just doing this and they keep on going. And I think they got a machine. WWE is a machine. And I think, like in closing, WWE got people wired to saying this is the big time. When actuality, it's not really the big time. Yeah, you get your money. Yeah, you get your publicity. But at any moment's notice, you can bust your ass for 365, 24/7, and you can get replaced on a night of WrestleMania at any point like that because somebody bigger over here. And you got to sit there and eat that crap and just watch that happen. You know what I'm saying? You might be mad about it or whatever. Somebody said on Twitter that Joe Hendry being at WrestleMania was a test to see if he's a team player. To see if he, see if he'll play ball. And obviously, if I'm Joe Hendry, I'm not going to turn that down. No. I ain't going to hold you. But like I said with TNA, you might as well put the fries in the bag.
Oh, yeah. Hot.
Fresh out the grease. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Joe Hendry was cool. TNA, not so much. TNA, not so much. And then, before we go, the acquisition of AAA. I know that was WWE's announcement. Mm-hmm. Notice that it is very, very convenient for all the the WWE leeches that only watch WWE and do not watch any other wrestling promotion. Thinking the WWE is the end all be all. AEW made an announcement that they're going to do Grand Slam in Arena, Mexico with CMLL. And Bandito is like narrating like the advertisement or whatever. Shortly after that, WWE announced that they acquired AAA, which is not CMLL, right? Yeah. Then they proceeded to put the tickets on sale the day before the tickets went on sale for CMLL Grand Slam show. So you can tell me that WWE don't pay attention to what the AEW is doing. That's some booty chatter right there. But whole booty chatter. Now it's not missed on me though that AAA and WWE have been itching to work together at some point. But it's just convenient timing that all this stuff was announced. You could announce this stuff next week. Mm-hmm. You could have announced this last week, but you waited and like, let's do this. The one one of the highlights of AAA is Vikingo.
Yeah, he was ringside.
Like that is the number one guy. Yeah, that was the number one guy. And what's funny about it is that that there was news floating around that AAA never paid Andrade. That they never had, Alberto Del Rio recently got released from AAA. Obviously, had a tumultuous relationship with Saraya. And obviously, police act, all this other stuff. Also, there was a wrestler that was with AAA that had it in with Stephanie Valkyrie when it came down to attempted murder charges. Paraphrasing. So AAA ain't really necessarily squeaky clean here. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like it was like, well, how is that different than what AEW is doing? Because AEW is not acquiring these companies. They're having a partnership with these companies. It's like, well, how's that different from New Japan? Because the wrestlers that was at New Japan, they moved over to AEW. Don't AEW still work with New Japan? don't those wrestlers that came from New Japan that signed with AEW still do shows at New Japan?
Mm-hmm.
What was the Young Bucks doing the past 6 months? New Japan. What was they doing? New Japan. What did when Kenny Omega was out because of his stomach injury, he made his debut where? New Japan. Then he went back to AEW.
Yep.
So, like, come on now. Come on. Come on now, man. But we'll see what happens with AAA because I think Alberto, he got released, so I think maybe they're, trying to clean up some mess.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And AAA, man, AAA has some Triple Mania. If you've never seen Triple Mania, it's something to see right there. Something to see. Penta came for AAA. I think he's like a former champion in AAA because Michael Cole made mention of that.
Yeah.
But next week, Infamous, we definitely got to talk about our Mount Rushmore of Lucha Libre wrestlers, though. Now, hey, you got a week. You got a week to think about that. Mount Rushmore. That's like your top 4 right there.
I'll be able to see.
No, don't say it now because you're gonna start now. After a week, you're gonna start thinking about other Lucha Libres wrestlers out there. You be like, oh man, I forgot about this one. I forgot about that one.
I know. All 4 of us got. Well, I can certainly say that we're probably going to have one person in there. Both of us will probably have at least one that's the same. The other 3, that's going to be up there.
Yeah, mine might throw you off. Mine might throw you off.
Mine might do the same.
Mine might throw you off, man.
Mine may do the same.
Our Mount Rushmore or Lucha Libre performers, man. That sweet, man. But check it. That is our show for tonight for Turnbuckle Talk. Infamous Stone Cold 4-wheeler was wilding. You got anything else for the listeners out there?
Yeah, man. Look, if you don't want to be famous, be infamous, be good at it. Shout out to Vivo. Shout out to my man's Boogie Blends. Shout out to the man himself, Ersk Mack, for the platform. As always, if you don't do anything else, folks, support the Patreon. Man, please like and subscribe. We here. You get that first access to the magazine and everything. So hey, come on, E. Man, you know I gotta put that plug in for you. You know.
Yeah.
You know I can do that.
True.
Also,
y'all see the ticker down there.
Subscribe to the Discord, man. Look, and also, people, your boy ain't seen Sinners yet. Me and the wife, we're gonna go see it this coming Friday. We got 3 days. We're gonna go this Friday. So I love my Orange Phoenix family, but I ain't gonna tune in nowhere. I ain't gonna tune in at no point. Is if I hear that Orange Phoenix is talking about Sinners, I'm going to bed. So
and it's funny you said that because me, Vivo, and Boogie Blends is gonna do a movie breakdown, cinematography, music, the whole 9 about Sinners tomorrow.
I'm going to bed. So, so on that note, for all y'all out there, please don't put up nothing about Sinners yet. Give me 3 days.
Well, LL Cool J said on SWAT, break them down like a shotgun.
Hey, again, shout out to E, Vivo, Boogie Blends, the Turnbuckle Talk, the Orange Phoenix family. We out.
Till next time, y'all. Peace.